My name is Vanessa Kisuule. I am a writer, performer, sometimes playwright, human being first and foremost. Can't even remember how old I would have been. I just loved drawing faces. I just wanted to get down all these incredible variations on the human face. I think reading Mallory Blackman when I was young was a big realisation of stories are great. Maybe I could write stories myself. You know, I think you can learn. I think you can channel the innate curiosity that we all have as humans and have your ability to explore that and play with that encouraged. Someone said, oh, we'd love you to come here and do a 10-minute slot at our poetry event, and I must have got paid something like 50 quid. But the thought that someone would pay me to just rant on stage was pretty miraculous then, and still is now. I wish I did have a creative process. I definitely need to be in a place of emotional and mental clarity. And then I just like to have a big bit of paper in front of me and brainstorm and just vomit as many ideas as possible onto the paper without censoring myself. I find myself overworked or overwhelmed quite a lot, but because I feel such a compulsion to create, it can be quite hard to remember that beyond all of the smoke and mirrors, we're just all mucking about on a grown-up playground. Perfect thought. You're dizzy, mate. There's no such thing as a perfect thought. So I'll just let it all out. Not very well. Having 10 tabs open on a laptop, I feel, is the perfect metaphor for how most of our brains are these days. I take myself to a place where other people are working. I think it's much like the gym. When you're around other people doing the thing that you're meant to be doing, the implicit pressure is helpful. Not pressure, inspiration. I think that's an inevitable byproduct of the human condition. I don't feel entitled to be in spaces, but you know, I'm just like, well, I'm here, and I like to hope that I'm here on merit or here because I offer something, otherwise I wouldn't have been invited into this space. Usually it helps when it's somebody else's thing that I'm making. When it's my own thing, that's harder. I think you've got to be intuitive and know when something can last the distance and when something maybe just doesn't have the legs that you hoped it did. No. Things that seemed like massive screw-ups at the time really weren't, and were probably the making of me. I love Beyonce. I don't know whether I'd give her the word genius. You know, she's not a Bjork, but she's definitely the queen, still, undisputedly. I don't know loads about her work, but I do rate her. I'd like to be a tree. They're really wise. I quite like the idea of not being a human the next time round. Black Panther, Barbershop Chronicles by Inwa Ellens, Americana by Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie. There are so many things. I don't really have a choice. Making stuff is a compulsion. Cultivate your curiosity, wanting to engage with the world and wanting to hear what it has to say for itself. I'm having such a nice time.
Really trying to encapsulate the frenzy of 24-hour news.
Are we done? Yeah.